We heard that the UN is going to be sending the troops over to the United States. And everybody's thinking, oh, well, they're getting ready for some kind of rebellion and stuff. Well, that's not the case. You see, what's happening is next week, Biden, our president, is going to sign over our sovereignty, or at least he's going to try to sign over our sovereignty to the UN. Okay? That means that he's going to tell our military to stand down and let the UN basically invade the United States. And that, my friend, is treason. And he's hoping the United States military is going to be complacent enough to just stand down and let the UN come in and take over.
All praises and glory to Yahweh.
States military.
Yahushai, B'Hashem Ha-Rakah Kodash, double honors to our apostles and elders which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom Ba. So, just as we've been prophesying in the word of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, we told you through the prophecies, really it's Yahweh speaking through his men by the spirit of prophecy, which is the spirit and testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right, that they were going to bring in these foreign troops, and they were going to, really, they're roused up against the Israelites. All right, and there's going to be a lot of casualties, but the main point is that they're roused up against the Israelites. Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoils shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations, those UN troops, against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, because when they come in, they're going to destroy your houses, and the women ravished, meaning they're going to rape the women. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. Now I'm going to read what happens to these soldiers that come up against the Israelites. It says right here in Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Talking about the Israelites that are in America, sighing and crying and prophesying. It says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So these foreign troops that are going to come in against the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian that are in slavery, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day, which this day will come after they make that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling, that a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among the heathen, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor, which it tells you in 2nd Esdras that they're going to go to war with each other, neighbor against neighbor. 2nd Esdras 15, I'll start at 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword, which is that so-called white race, and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, which is their politicians, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, which they're going to have the urge to go to war with their own government, to fight the blue hats. You're going to have war in the streets of America. All right, and that's why it says in 2nd Esdras 16:30 on down about the men dying in the wars. If these women have husbands, they'll die in the wars. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, which is the pride of the so-called white race, the red devil the Bible speaks of, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Which that tribulation is brought on by that implantable microchip becoming mandatory. And that's why they need chaos. They need chaos. The elite of the so-called white race need chaos to bring forth their new world order, which is making it mandatory that everyone has an implantable microchip, which they're going to make it mandatory to have, that you have this implantable microchip so you could buy and sell.